A New York police officer and his wife go on vacation to Europe in an attempt to rekindle their marriage, but are forced to flee after being imprisoned after the death of an elderly billionaire. When a New York policeman finally takes his wife on a long-promised trip to Europe, a chance onboard encounter turns into a close family reunion on the superyacht of elderly billionaire Malcolm Quince. Invite them when Quince is murdered, they become prime suspects in a modern crime thriller. Adam Sandler's NYPD Nick Spitz recently failed a detective exam, but he doesn't tell Audrey, a hairstylist, Jennifer Aniston. Audrey confronts Nick about the fact that, despite his promises, he has never traveled to Europe after marriage following their 15th wedding anniversary dinner. Remains silent. Nick, in a panic, announced that he would surprise her, and the two of them set out for Europe. Audrey and Charles Cavendish, Luke Evans, had a conversation on the flight. Start. Recently, Charles's fiancée married his uncle and left him. He invites Spitz to their yacht party. Nick didn't want to leave when he found out, but Audrey persuaded him that the luxury yacht was far superior to their budget plans. On the yacht, they meet Charles' ex-life partner Susie Nakamura, Shrikut Suna, cousin Toby Quince, David Wallams, entertainer Effortlessly Ballard, Gemma Arterton, and dashing driver Juan Carlos Rivera, Luis Gerardo Mendez, and Maharaja Vikram. Adil Akhtar's Govinda.
Free version that you are using is limited to speaking a maximum of 1000 characters. Please upgrade to full version to remove this limitation.
Malcolm Quince, played by Terence Stamp, Charles' uncle, arrives to thank everyone for their congratulations on his engagement. He claims that they are all at his will at this point. He refers to them as leeches who do not earn anything. He says he made another will and passed on everything to Susie. Not long before he signs the new confirmation, his powers go out, discharges ring out, shouts ring out, and when the light returns, Malcolm is dead, wounded in his chest. Audrey finds that Scratch is an investigator and everybody asks him for help. He arranges everybody to get back to their rooms until the yacht arrives at land. Macron's child Toby, Scratch considers in the event that the case is shut or strange, yet Audrey says it's too self-evident and a gunfire rings out. They discover Toby dead with a head wound from a gunshot. Did Danny Boone's Inspector Laurent Delacroix arrives the following morning to question everyone. A random American was the guest who said the most bizarre thing that night. Spitz hears from Delacroix that he thinks they are the killers. In an effort to disprove their claim that they are not the perpetrators of the crime, the pair immediately engage in conversation with various guests in search of possible leads, one of whom happens to be Malcolm's father. Juan Carlos passed away, and this is him. Charles is Nick's primary focus, but Audrey, who enjoys Charles, believes Nick is envious of him. Orders them to listen after finding Sergei armed with a gun. He informs them that Quince stole the colonel's girlfriend a long time ago and that they had a child together, but Quince died while giving birth. I say. At the point when somebody thumps on the entryway, the couple stow away, and when they emerge, Sergei is killed. Hides in a room, where he finds Vikram and her sleeping. Nick and Audrey learn that they are wanted, that Nick lied about being a detective, and that Delacroix calls them the prime suspects on television. Audrey realizes that she lied about planning the trip in advance after an argument. She leaves with Charles, enraged. Charles is watching Susie, Audrey realizes when she finds Japanese allergy medicine in her car. She follows him and meets Nick, who concludes that Charles and Susie were involved. They flee when someone starts shooting at them. They find Juan Carlos, who takes them to Susie. Susie holds them at gunpoint, but someone wearing a mask shoots them with a poisoned arrow. Scratch and Juan Carlos pursue the aggressors, yet he get away. When Audrey and Nick confront Charles at the mansion, they discover that he has been poisoned. You freeze in fear until you find out. Grace is Malcolm's long-lost child who did not die as stated when the remaining suspects and Delacroix meet her at the mansion. She tried to kill Nick and Audrey when they became suspicious, but Charles killed him because he loved Susie and not her. She convinced Toby to kill Malcolm and then killed Toby. Grace, however, is arrested after Nick shoots Grace in the shoulder, and Audrey discovers a final lead that indicates Grace was the one who took Audrey hostage. Rice Patch. Vikram then, at that point, brings up that Effortlessly was with him when Sergei was shot, and Scratch and Audrey acknowledge Juan Carlos was the other executioner, noticing that he doesn't communicate in English. He did it in retaliation against his family. He robs a police car and holds Delacroix hostage with a gun. Spitz captures Juan Carlos with a Ferrari, defeats him, and saves the detective. Juan Carlos is struck by Nick and Audrey's original tour bus as he pursues them once more. Nick is informed by Delacroix that he will get in touch with them to make him a detective. He thanks them. He gives them a ride on the Scenic Orient Express train as a reward.